everyone, welcome. My name's Tracy, and I've got a video today for you with Not Too Shabby. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So today I am using the Tropical Christmas papers from the Paper Pad Pack of the Month. And I keep mine in a little container like this so I can keep my scraps and kind of matching scraps with them. I'm going to use 4 different patterns from this pack today. I'm not using the whole piece, so I'll still have plenty of leftovers. So we're just going to kind of get some of these papers out of the way. And I'll also be using some of the ephemera. Well, there's a matching ephemera pack. If you order the Not Too Shabby Shop Paper Pad, you can add on the ephemera. So we'll be using that. And then I've got some various papers because what we're making are little matchbook notepads. So I have here some tissue, some avocado dyed paper. And here's the instructions, by the way. You can pause the video and take a screenshot if you like. I thought I'd throw these in. I wasn't sure where to throw them in, but I want you to have them. They'll also be listed down below. And back to my papers here. So I've got this avocado dyed paper that my friend gave me. It's a rather thick paper. So I won't need as many pieces. And I'll need a lot more pieces of the tissue paper. And then I've got this packing paper that, comes in our packages. And I save it all because it makes great little paper pads and other stuff for my junk journals and stuff. And then I've got some just plain copy paper. This is just lightweight copy paper, recycled paper. So we'll use those, and here's my directions, and I'm just going to move everything aside and we'll get started on the paper. And here's the instructions again, and I will, like I said, list them down below so that you have them. But I just wanted to make sure I had them in plenty of places. And by the way, you could also use these tiny sticky notes if you wanted to. They'll fit in there just fine. Not the whole pack, but, just a few off the pack. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the paper down to 2 by 4. So 2 inches wide by 4 long. And I've done that off screen, and here's the papers. And what we're going to do next is we're going to staple them together. And I'm not going to lie, the tissue paper is hard to work with. It just doesn't want to cooperate. But what you do is you just take your whole pack and fold it in half. So that's basically 2 inches square. And sometimes you fight with it a little bit. And you can trim it off afterwards, depending on how much paper you put down, what kind of scissors or trimmer you have. My trimmer struggles just cutting the tissue paper. It's so thin that it likes to move away from the cutting blade. So anyway, you're going to fold it in half and then open it back out, find the middle. And I'm sorry, I'm a little off screen here. I'm trying a new camera system today and I'm having mixed results with it. We'll just say that I wasn't really thrilled with the upload. And then you're going to take your stapler, and I'm using the tiny attacher, and I'm going to switch cameras here in a minute so you can see up close what I'm doing. I think I am anyway. Let's see. Yep, this is me switching cameras because I have a close-up camera and I wanted you to be able to see. Let's pull that close-up camera up. Now I'm off screen still, so let's get down close where I'm by the screen. And I'm just straightening the papers out again and pushing the stapler up until I'm right in that center line. Can you see it? Just right there in the middle, and I'm going to staple it. Let's get really close and personal there. And or you could sew them together if you wanted to, or just leave them apart. It doesn't matter because you're going to staple it again. But now we're going to make the matchbook cover. So you're going to need 2 1/8 by 4 7/8 for each piece. And you're going to need 4 pieces of double-sided paper. And I'll cut the first one for you. And then we'll do the rest off camera. So I'm going to select my papers here. And I'm using, of course, the grungy ones. And the insides are cute too. So that's what I like about using double-sided paper. Let's just adjust the camera here a little bit so you can see it a little better and I'm in frame. All right. So I'll go ahead and start trimming, and where you want to trim is just under 2 1/8 of an inch. So you can't really measure that on here. You can kind of eyeball it. halfway between one of those marks is 1/8 of an inch, and I wanted just a little bit under. And then you do want the 4 7/8. And then I'm going to go ahead and round the corners on these. You don't have to. You can round it with scissors. You know, I would encourage you to use what you have, no matter what. And then, because it's me, I'm going to grunge up the edges with some vintage photo. And inside and out, because you'll be able to see the inside. And then I'm going to do my scoring. So I know that's the inside. I want to make sure my orientation's straight so that the long part is at the top. Well, so it's not upside down, I guess. This paper kind of seems to go in a lot of different directions, but for the most part. So I'm going to score that at 1/2 inch. I'm going to score it at 2 5/8. And I'm going to score it at 2 7/8, basically another 1/4 inch away. And then I'm just going to loosely fold. I'm not burnishing really hard or anything because I don't want to crack my paper. And then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of grunge up or edge up the folded parts of this, inside and out. And that's that. These are super easy and fun to make. And I'll take my avocado papers here and I'll fold them inside. And then I'll just take my stapler and staple it pretty low. You want to staple it kind of low to the, closer to the bottom so that your top can fold in. And there we are. We've got our Matchbook notebook. All we have to do is decorate those. And I'll do the rest of them off camera. I ran out of staples, of course. Nothing ever goes smooth when you're trying to make a video. All right, there's the 4 of them. They're ready to go. All we need to do is decorate them. And I'll be using some of the small ephemera from the matching ephemera pack. And I'm just kind of dumping and letting it drop out because I know that several small pieces will drop out first. Because that's just typically the way it goes when you're trying to get a big piece. All the little ones fall all over. So we'll use the present. Now I'm not going to use a candy cane because it won't cover. We'll use a skate. We'll use a little piece of candy. Let's see, what else do I have in here? Yeah, I kind of want to use something different for each one. But luckily the candy comes in 2 colors. So there we go. That's how I'm going to do it. And I'll also edge those ephemera pieces just so that they, you know, are cohesive with the rest of the design. And then just glue them on towards the bottom. You don't want any glue at the top. You can glue it on the bottom. It doesn't matter if it hangs over because they'll still open. Because it's nice, sturdy ephemera. If you're using lightweight paper, then I recommend that you double it up or so that it's sturdy on there. All right. The whole thing is very, very easy to do. And you're going to see where I make a huge mistake in trimming my box off. And I do leave that part in there because it's important to know that you can fix it and you don't have to be perfect. And, you know, there's not a human being on this earth that's perfect. It's impossible for humans. So here they are, each one with a different kind of paper in them. Just a fun little gift. All right, let's get those out of the way and let's make our little box that you get them in. So I'm going to cut my paper down, and I don't know why I put it on this scoreboard. Oh yeah, because I'm cutting it here. Duh. So I think this one is 4 by 5.5. 4 by 5, and see, look at that thing. I'm really struggling with the cutting blade on this thing. Let's start again. We're gonna go 4. Gonna go, looks like 5 1/4. Yeah, I guess so. And then the lid part is gonna be 4 1/16. So it's a 1/16 inch bigger on each side. If you're doing your own box, just know that a lid needs to be a 1/16 of an inch bigger, and it will close nicely over your bottom. So I'm going to set that one aside and pull this one. And I decide that you can score in there. You can see sort of the score marks where to score, but I'm going with my tried and true as far as scoreboards go. And going with this one, it does do 1/8 inches. So we want to score this at 1.5 all the way around. And it's going to seem weird, right? But it's a weird box. So your size is oddball. And then what I want to do is I want to trim, but I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish this. And I just decided to use a piece of craft paper. You could use the pattern paper. It's big enough. So do what you do. You do you. I'm going to cut this straight down that straight line. And then I'm going to cut just a little, I don't know, divot in there. And then I'm going to trim this off because you can see it's too tall. And then I'm going to go ahead and just cut a little bit of a corner off of there too. I'm going to do that on all the sides, but on this side, I accidentally cut the wrong direction. I catch myself, but not in time. See what I'm doing there? No, that's not what you were supposed to do. I was supposed to trim this piece off. Well, I'm going to fix it with just a piece of tape. Just a piece of Scotch tape on the inside. And I'll hide that inside when I glue it together. So there we go. Now I'll cut the other side properly. Hopefully. Yeah, there we go. And done most of that off camera for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the box together. And both the top and bottom go together exactly the same. I'm just going to add glue to each one of these flaps, and there's the flap with the tape on it, so I'm going to put it on first, and then I can cover it with the other flap, and there our mistake is gone pretty much. And then I'll just take my little bone folder and kind of help press it down, and then I'll go ahead and glue together these two. And in hindsight, I probably should have put glue on both sides, but I didn't, so there's that. You should, and I do on the top. Because I've got to try and force it in there, which is fine, but trying to get the glue in that long piece is a little bit difficult. It's not impossible. And what I'm doing is I'm pushing it onto itself. That way the glue spreads out. Just burnish that down and wipe off any excess. And so on my original box, I decorated the bottom. I'm not going to decorate the bottom on this one, but I will decorate the top. And so what I need to do is I need to cut my little pieces of pattern paper to fit. And I forgot to trim that piece off. See, it's all going to fit together there. And the way I'm trimming these, this is not an exact measurement. So you're going to measure it how you like. I measure the box itself, and then I take a little bit away. So each side of the box, I'll take my ruler and measure. And I know that I want however much by however much on the front and back. And I'm just going a little under that measurement. And I still don't get it right because brains. So I want to say it was 1 1/4, but I forgot. 1 1/4 by 2 and 2 by 2, I think. And I cut this one too short, which is fine. I can use it for something else. Because I have, 5 sides to cover. So let's cut this one properly. Yeah, I think I cut that one too short. And then I'll just cut the rest of them all to fit. And I will round the corners. And oh man, I made so many mistakes working on this one. I got the first one pretty much perfect. And this one just gave me fits all the way around because I was recording. So I'll go ahead and cut my other pieces. Now that I know the size I need, and get them in the correct size. And I'll run the corners of these, and I will also edge them with the Vintage Photo ink so that everything kind of goes nicely together. So those match. Now I need to get my ends and my top. And you don't even have to do this if you don't want. If you used pattern paper, then you can just be done. Basically put the top and bottom together, put the matches in, and you're good to go. Well, not matches, but matchbook notebook. Matchbook notes. Yeah, that. Spit it out. All right, I just need my top piece. And I've already taken out the ephemera I plan to use to decorate it. Okay, and it looks like we need right around 1 inch. All right, got all our pieces. That's our bottom piece. We'll set that aside. Now I want to glue my pieces onto my top piece. So I'm going to take my corner rounder, and I'm going to round it at 4 millimeters, but one of them I accidentally rounded. I put the wrong roundy thing in. But see, if you just distress it like that and glue it straight down, all of your sides. So you're not going to put anything on the flaps. You don't want anything on those flaps, just the other parts. So just like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue the flaps to the ends. This time I'm putting glue on both sides. You just want to make sure that you match up all the corners. Okay, the same thing, I'm going to put the glue on both sides this time. Fold one over the other. Sometimes it's a choice of whether you want to get glue on your fingers or not. Seriously. And then this should fit. It doesn't fit properly because I put the tape on. But once you put it off and take it on and put it off and take it on a few times, it goes on a lot easier. So then you just put your little matchbook notes inside, and you can place the lid on. You can place the lid on. Honestly, if you don't break it like I did, it fits perfectly. See? And it'll go all the way down. So if the matches are what holds it up. If you are worried about it, you can put a little thumb notch in the back so that you can get the lid back off. So all I'm going to do is tack on the ephemera here, and I will edge that ephemera as well. So everything kind of goes together. I think I would love to get a little gift like this, you know, just to toss in my purse. You might use the tissue papers as like lipstick blotters, or who knows, you know, or make little notes. You could give a little fancy pen with it and make yourself a little 6x6 bag. I know that we have lots of tutorials on how to do that with the pattern paper. Make a little bag to match it, maybe throw a gift card in, who knows. Okay, and I put those on off camera, those little enamel dots, because I am horrible at putting those on, and I struggle and things come out of my mouth that probably shouldn't. It's just my fingers don't like to work properly with sticky things. And then I just put a little bow around it, and it's just a little bow that I made out of baker's twine and bias tape that I dyed. And there's our cute little box. And inside we have our cute little matchbooks. And I'll show you again a still picture at the end, and the directions will be down below. Really appreciate you coming to visit us here at Not Too Shabby Shop. And here's a close-up here of this little matchbook box. And it's so cute. I mean, I love tiny things anyway, but especially when they're hand decorated. Just adorable. We'll pull the ribbon off, take our little matchbooks out, and there they sit in there. If you like this video, please consider giving us a thumbs up, and please leave a comment down below. You know, if you're like, Tracy, you just are so silly, what the heck were you thinking? Or, you know, I made those kind of mistakes before. We like to hear and receive your feedback, whatever it is. And don't forget to shop at Not Too Shabby Shop. Have a great one. Take care. Bye-bye.